everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Been a while since I actually filmed a new video because the previous video took me about 2 weeks to film. So this is very exciting to change it up. This week we're doing things a little bit differently again, and this was actually one of the most popular videos on my channel, or as popular as it could be with 43 of you guys. But thank you so much for that anyway. Without further ado, let's get started. And what that was is TBR Jar chooses my reads for a week. We'll read 3 books this week, but I think this time I'm actually going to pick as we finish the books. So I don't know my full TBR, and neither will you guys. I have a bunch of prompts mixed in here. However, I have read books. Anyway, here's my TBR that I wanted to show you. This is why I don't do like a full TBR Jar 2, just my TBR for like the month, because this is all the books that I have. So I'm still very new to this, and also I'm unemployed, so I do not get books for free or anything like that. So I am currently funding this myself, and it is very, very expensive. Probably more expensive than my makeup habits down here. I don't do videos like that because I don't have an extensive TBR, but I have prompts in here that have book names on it, as well as other prompts that I've added in. So that's different from last time. A few of the books I've already read. Obviously, I've been reading since a lot since the last time I did this. I'm not sure if we get those, we'll just redraw. But for now, I think we're just gonna pick our first book, and I'm very excited. So we have pink little. We have, I don't know why I'm shaking it, but it's upside. Is it upside down? No, it's not. All the prompts got stuck in this little lid over here. I can actually see some of them, so can you. So I have pink and blue prompts. So the blue ones are the ones with like the actual prompt, and then the pink ones are book names. Let's just grab anything, and I'm going to look at my TV screen. What is this? Do I have one? I'm gonna let you see. What does that say? Book that has been on your TBR the longest. I actually just did a video like that a couple weeks ago. So the book that's been on my TBR the longest, I think, is Bride. Let me go have a look and see on my Goodreads. So I do have a bunch of books in the UK. I say that all the time, but at my partner's house, we have Caraval Legendary Finale in the UK, Nothing Left Unsaid in the UK, Kerry Soda is Back in the UK, The Fake Up in the UK, The No in the UK, Destroy Me in the UK. Oh, we have Ignite Me as well. I think because this Ignite Me is in a series, I think I don't want to pick a series until we get that prompt. So I think I'm gonna pull Bride. I think I want to save this for reading it in series I want to continue. So I think Bride is gonna be our first book. Very excited. I've heard such mixed things about this book because it is like, what are they, part of the Omegaverse? I have no idea what that is, but I know it's kind of like werewolves doing stuff sexually. So I'm not sure, but I know it is about a rival family of werewolves and vampires, and they end up having an arranged marriage for some reason. I also know that this is Alex Hazelwood's first attempt at fantasy. So I don't know what to think about it. I've never read anything by her, but I actually got a pre-order of this when it first came out, and unfortunately I didn't read it then. Ellen Catherine, I think it is. She absolutely loved it, gave it a 5-star, and then I like Destiny gave it a 2-star or something. So it's very, very, very like varied and controversial, but I've been talking for 5 minutes. I'm going to start reading this and let you guys know where and what I feel. We will draw another prompt, but this is the one we got. Good morning, guys. So I'm not halfway through, but I just wanted to check in. I know I usually check in at the halfway point, but I am on page 36, chapter 2. That's the first thing I want to say about this book, is the chapters are extremely long. So the first chapter, which was actually the epilogue, was 11 pages. And then the second chapter, the actual first chapter was 23 pages. That is so unnecessary, so freaking unnecessary. Another thing I have to say about it so far is that she's trying to change the law surrounding vampires and werewolves. Vampires are closer to human, but I guess still drink blood because they age like everybody else. They're not as strong as werewolves, where in the history of time, vampires have always been stronger than werewolves. So she's trying to change that. So I'm trying to wrap my head around which direction she's trying to take here, because for me, it's just not making sense, because my history is fucking vampires and werewolves. Like since Twilight times, I've just been obsessed with it and read loads of stuff about it. I would read a lot of fantasy based around like shapeshifters and stuff like that. So she's changed that law, and I don't know how I feel about it yet. So it's quite difficult for me. There are quite big words that are completely unnecessary in it. So I feel like it's slightly embellished a little bit. Well, I guess it doesn't help that I read ACOTAR previously, or ACO War. It's not hitting right now. But what it's about so far is our main female character, Misery. Her marriage to a werewolf has just been arranged. She hasn't met him or seen him or anything until they're at the altar. When she was younger, she was actually living amongst the humans from when she was 8 years old, because they call it like vampire collateral. So in order to keep peace between the human world, one of the humans in high power send one of their young into the vampire colony, and then vice versa happens with vampires. So they kind of have like an exchange program. They make it sound like, you're doing something for your people. You treat it really badly, like especially Misery. She's a vampire, like I said, but even before she left to go as this vampire collateral, she was like spat on and bullied because they made fun of her because she has to go into the human realm. It just wasn't a nice experience. And now her dad's just making her marry this werewolf for the exact same reason, and she's like petrified that she's going to obviously be bullied into this again. However, in the epilogue, we do have them at the altar. It starts off like that, but then jumping back, we kind of try to start figuring out why this marriage took place. Yeah, it's okay, but it's slow. I just keep reading about this knotting thing. I wonder how I'll feel about it, because everybody else doesn't like it very much. So it's interspecies sexual relations, but we'll see. But yeah, I'm not loving it so far. I thought I would like it a lot more because I love fantasy, but we'll have to wait and see. I'll keep you guys updated. I probably will just check in now at the halfway point, now that I've said my initial feelings. Hello everybody, I just filmed half a clip without turning my mic on. Honestly, would it actually be my channel if I didn't do that? But anyway, sorry for the way I look. I went for a run earlier on, and then I got busy editing and trying to get halfway in this book. But I made it just over halfway through Bride, and it did pick up a little bit. It really did, but it took us about 100 pages to get there. Before the 100-page mark, it was very mundane, very boring, very tedious. It was just like Misery being in the wolf pack, and she has all these restrictions and stuff put in place so no one kills her, and it was just her like potting about, and it was boring. It was really boring. I thought I was gonna DNF it, but then it picked up. Things started happening, things were explained, and now I'm like kind of enticed because I want to know what's gonna happen. So yeah, it's exactly what I told you it was about. I didn't actually read the back before I bought this, but yeah, I think I discussed everything that was already in the back of the book, so I don't want to say too much more, but I'm enjoying it a little bit more. I am flying through it now actually, and I do have a little bit of time now that my video is exporting, so I think I'm going to read a little bit. This is my first experience with Ali Hazelwood, and unfortunately it's not the best one, but I don't read romance books, so I haven't read any of her other books. So yeah, Hi everybody. So I finished Bride, and I think I'm just going to save my review for the end of the video because I have conflicting thoughts and I'm not sure where I've landed with this, but I finally finished it. Today's Sunday and I'm going to just lie out in the sun, so I thought we'd start another book. So let's pick another prompt from this. think I'm gonna go for another blue one instead of a pink because the pinks are actually book names. What does that say? A book with at least a 4-star on Goodreads. So let me have a look at my Goodreads. Okay, we have loads, but there's one book, I have lots, like loads and loads and loads. So I'm just going to take it as like a mood read. I think I'm actually just going to choose this one, which is another fantasy, but I got this for my birthday this year and I've been dying to read it and I didn't know what type of video to put it in. It is the start of a series, but it's only a duology. This has it's got a 4.29 rating. So I'm gonna get started on this and I will let you guys know what I think. Hi friends, so it's been a while. Like I think the last time I picked up the camera was Saturday or Sunday even. Today is Thursday. So it's been 4 days since I last picked up the camera and I've only made it this far in to One Dark Window. I don't know what's going on with me. I feel like I'm going into a slump, or I have a book hangover from reading A Court of Wings and Ruin. That book was a 5-star. It was great. It was long. It was 700 pages. So I feel like everything I'm reading afterwards is just like, what is the point? What is the point? I know it's not going to be a 5-star, but it's irking me and I feel like I'm not giving the books as much of a chance as I should. I didn't talk about Bride by Ali Hazelwood. I'm still conflicted about how I feel about this book, so I'm still just going to leave this till the end of the video to discuss with you and tell you exactly what my feelings are because I don't know. I'm still confused. I don't know. I didn't like the way the law was changed about werewolves and vampires. Why are vampires now all of a sudden the inferior species? Like, what about Twilight? What about Dracula? There's other movies as well that play into what the law of vampires and werewolves are, but this one kind of tries to throw you in the other direction. And for me, it just made me confused and made it tedious to read. Like, why did we need to do that? The knotting ceremony was like, okay, weird. Like, I didn't think it was as taboo as everybody else did, but okay. The romance between the two, I did enjoy more than I thought I would, and that was what I was rooting for the whole book, like just for them to like just hook up. The slow burn was like, come on, we're adults, like you can do something about this. The fact that vampires have purple blood and the werewolves have green blood, like that made me roll my eyes. So I don't know if it's because of the way I'm feeling just in general about reading or if it was this book itself. But on that same note, I started One Dark Window, like we said, on Sunday. And I think I only read the first chapter on Sunday and I wasn't enjoying the writing style. And I still feel the same way about it. I don't like all the riddles. Like, not that I'm not intelligent enough. It's just I'm not in the mood for it. Like, just tell me the story. Why do we have to go bend backwards in order to understand what you're saying? The thing in her head, I just feel like the back and forth between them is throwing me out of the story the whole time, and I'm like, I do not care because it's all in riddles. Just say what you freaking mean. Like, come on, spit it out. Like, I don't want to go through the whole mission of figuring out a puzzle in order to understand what they mean. But anyway, this book follows our main female character. I can't even remember her name. I don't remember. I know what it is. I can't pronounce it properly, but it's Elspeth. Anyway, it follows her and she lives in a city or town called Blunder. So Blunder is ailed with this infection, kind of like the plague, but it causes people to gain magic. But this magic, if not contained or used incorrectly, can degrade. I've been reading so many books about degradation, but your degeneration of your mind and you end up dying. So the king has set out to kill anybody who is infected with a fever, but Elspeth, she had the fever and it was hidden away. So she has some sort of magic here, but magic is present in the everyday kingdom, but it's with cards. They call them providence cards. So there's 12 cards, 12 different types of cards, and there's like a few of each of them. Like the nightmare card only has 2, and the nightmare card you can use like telepathy and you can project your thoughts and speak into people's mind. Then there's like a well card, a chalice card, a Prophet card, and if you have access to those, you just need to tap them 3 times to use the power, and then tap them 3 times again and the power stops. But the king doesn't want everybody to have these powers because it comes from an ancient myth in the woods, and the mist that is plaguing them right now actually carries the infection, so a lot of people are getting infected. So they want to collect all these cards so they can now, you know, put an end to this. That is kind of what's going on. I just feel like it's a bit slow, and I thought I was gonna love this. I actually asked for this for my birthday because I thought I was gonna love it so much, but at the moment I'm just like, okay, it's mediocre. It feels like a 3-star right now. I'm hoping it will pick up. But I do like the kind of tantalizing bits of romantasy in here. So there is a bit of a romance, I think, blooming. And I'm eating that up, which is not normal for me. I usually don't like the romance part, which just tells me that the rest of the storyline is not gripping enough. But yeah, that's all I have to say about this. This was a very long check-in. I'm so sorry. I am currently on page 159, chapter 15. So every chapter again starts with like a card like that, and it has like a description and a riddle about all the Providence cards, and then also about the person who made the deal with the being in the forest. Yeah, it's a bit tedious if I'm being honest with you, but I do think that I'm going into a slump, or I have a book hangover. So I don't feel like I would feel this way if I hadn't felt this way. So yeah, I'm gonna go off. Like I said, I've been not making time to read. I've just been playing games. I'm thinking of putting some gaming on this channel. If you guys are interested, I literally just play like makeover games and stuff. So let me know if you guys would like to see that. It might add some variety to the channel. I've been putting off reading. I read maybe an hour a day, and then I'm like, done. Like, it's just like a duty right now. But yeah, that's kind of how I'm feeling. I hope you guys understand. This video is only going up in like maybe a couple of weeks. I'm going to start December with ranking some of my books. So this is going to be basically the last, I really need the toilet, but this is going to be the last vlog for the year. So thank you guys for spending it with me. This year's been great. I've read so many amazing books. Basically all of these were read this year with you guys, and I really enjoyed so much of it with you guys. So I'm hoping that you do consider subscribing. Also, please give this video a like. It helps push my videos out. That would be absolutely great. And also just leave me a comment if you want to see anything different on my channel. I also think that, I know I said I was gonna go, but I think I should draw my last card now. Oh, my last card. I'm talking about Providence card. I think I should pull my last prompt right now so that I know what I'm going to read next, can prepare myself, and also so I can prepare for my yearly roundup. So I think we should do that now. So we're gonna have to make this quick because my mic is actually dying, but let's give this a shake. I think I'm gonna pull a blue prompt again, just because the other ones have actual book names on there, and I don't know if I'm in the mood for that, but clearly I'm not picking books properly. What does this say? A non-fiction? I don't have any. I don't have a non-fiction, so we're gonna put this back in and pull another. I don't have any. I have the Britney Spears one where I read halfway and ended up DNFing it because I didn't enjoy it, so that was a bad prompt. So let's pick again. The first book you touch with your eyes closed. Okay. Oh God. Okay. So I'm going to shut my eyes. I already know what all the tall books are, I think. So let's just go with this one. I don't know if I want to read this. This is The Guilty Couple by C.L. Taylor. I read a book from her back in October for spooky season, and I didn't love it. I didn't like her writing style, but hopefully I do like this. It says, what would you do if your husband framed you for murder? 5 years ago, Olivia Sutherland was convicted of plotting to murder her husband, and now she's finally free. Olivia has 3 goals: repair her relationship with her daughter, clear her name, and bring down her husband, the man who framed her. Just how far is she willing to go to get what she wants, and how far will her husband go to stop her? Because his lies run deeper than Olivia could ever imagine, and this time it's not her freedom that's in jeopardy, but her life. It's a change of pace. Maybe that's exactly what I need. Maybe. So this is going to be what we're going to be reading after One Dark Window. So I'll let you know when we start that, but I just wanted to pull this now so we have an idea of what is going on and I can start planning my yearly roundup. That's everything for sure right now. I will let you guys know when I start this, when I finish this, and what I thought about this. Hi guys! I come bearing some news. I finally finished One Dark Window. I don't feel like this book was for me. I took about 9 days to read it and it's not that long. I don't know what I'm going to give this book as a rating. I think I've told you enough about it, about the magic system, which is cards, Providence card, Elspeth going on a mission to cure the fever, and Blunder as a whole. And the Mist, I'm sure I told you, I'm not 100% sure, but I'll have to input that at the end if I haven't. So many people hyped this book up. And it really wasn't for me. It took me a really long time to get into it. I didn't like the riddles. I didn't like the monster in her head talking to her in riddles. Like, it just felt very juvenile. She's 20 years old and it just felt like they were 15 or 16 years old with all the riddles and stuff. It wasn't very well written in my opinion. There were a lot of plot holes. We didn't really get to know Blunder as a society. We didn't get to know the political side of things. Nothing really made sense to me. And as much as I liked Elspeth as a main character and Raven as well, I loved his character, the story was just very slow, very fragmented, and unfortunately it wasn't for me. I did start to enjoy it like towards the end, but I started skimming because there was again just too much detail. So I think I'm going to give this book a 3-star. I was thinking like a 2.75, but I think I'm going to settle on a 3-star. I'm happy I read it and it's off the table now. I don't know if I'll pick up the second book. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe I'll want to know what happens because it leaves on the most horrible cliffhanger that has ever been written, because it was more of just like an abrupt end rather than a cliffhanger, in my opinion. So unfortunately, I'm really sad because my brother got me this book for my birthday. I asked for it and unfortunately I didn't enjoy it as much as I wanted to. I love fantasy, but it just didn't fall into the realm of things that I personally enjoy about fantasies. Let's finally talk about this book. It's been about, well, it took me 9 days to read that and it took me about a week to read this. So it's probably been about 2 weeks since I read this or started this. And I still don't 100% know how I feel about it. I know I didn't love it. And I think I'm going to give this a 3-star maybe again. I was thinking 2.5 because I did like Misery and I did like Low in their story, but I didn't like that the law was changed. I didn't like that she tried to make like her own system with paranormal entities. I didn't like that part of it, but okay, I'm going to settle on a 3. I'm going to settle on 3. I would recommend for people who do like vampires and werewolves, but just be aware that everything you know about them is changed in this book. So 3 stars. Unfortunately, this video is not going as well as I thought it would, to be honest with you. But then our final book that we picked was The Guilty Couple by The Guilty Couple by C.L. Taylor, and I started it this morning. I'm only about 24 pages in on chapter 5. I'm really enjoying it so far. It's very fast-paced so far. We've already got a look at her going to jail for the attempted murder on her husband. Yeah, I don't know if you guys remember that from my check-in, but Olivia goes to jail for attempted, or what do you call it, murder for hire on her husband, but she's been set up. So now 5 years later, she's been released from hospital and all she wants to do is restore her relationship with her daughter and get back at her husband. But this time she's willing to take his life. So far it's moved fast. Like I said, there was a couple of chapters in the beginning about them in the court hearing, and then there was a couple of chapters about when she's just got out. So we're just moving on to his point of view, and it is dual point of view, Olivia and Dominic, her husband. So far it's going well. Her previous book I didn't like straight off the bat, so I'm surprised that I do this, but I think it's also just a change of pace because I read too many fantasies in a row. I really did. So I think it's just ruined me a little bit, but I mean, we'll survive and we'll move forward. But for now, I'm happy to be reading a little bit of a thriller. But yeah, I will get back to you guys when I learn more or read more about this, and yeah, then we can finally close up this video because it's been going on for ages. I finished it, and this took me 2 days to read, which I guess I'm not in a slump. That's what it means to me, because this went so quickly. I was so intrigued. I was so enthralled. I didn't take any B-roll, and I only did one check-in at the beginning of the book. So I finished the majority of this book yesterday. I started on page 100 and then finished it. I went to sleep at like 3 o'clock in the morning because I just couldn't put it down. It was literally so enthralling. I already told you what the book was about, and it literally captivated me. I loved the short chapters. I liked the multiple points of view, but sometimes I thought maybe it was a little bit irrelevant. But we follow the points of views of Olivia, the main female character, her ex-husband Dominic, who framed her for murder, and then his kind of side piece who he was kind of sleeping with. But there were so many twists and turns. It reminded me of the movie. I don't know if anyone's ever seen it because I was very young when I saw this, but there's a movie called Double Jeopardy, and it reminded me of that. I literally set out to read for an hour last night, and the next thing I knew was 4 hours in and finishing the book. So this was really, really good, and I'm going to give it a 4-star. It was a turn of events. I'm so happy that I actually picked this book because the other two were really disappointing. So the prompt for this book was this. I didn't read it yet. It says, the first book you touch with your eyes closed. So I shut my eyes, you should have seen, and I just touched it, and it gave us something good. And like I said, I'm not going to bang on about these again. We did read First Bride, which I think I gave a 3-star to, and then again, One Dark Window, I'm sure I gave it 3 stars as well. But that is it from me, guys. I hope everybody has a great Christmas and also New Year. This is going to be my last reading vlog for the year. So I will definitely see you guys all next year for another reading vlog. I will be doing more ranking videos and summing up things. But for now, we've done the reading vlogs for the year. I need a break from it as well. Also, I will obviously be reading during December, but I will do a wrap up in early January. But with that being said, I had a really fun time reading these books and picking prompts from my TBR jar. I will see you all in my next one. Bye, guys.